Hey guys, Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com and wingboarding.com. You know, there's a lot of boards that come out of the industry and the market, and I gotta tell you, this is one of them that I've been very excited about. Why? It's because this package was designed around some riders that are amazing, and not only are they the amazing riders, but they also shape the boards. That makes a huge aspect. This is the new Project Drag from Slingshot. This is really cool. The excitement of being able to get out and ride one of these. This is Ken Adgate and Kyle Toohey. These guys are amazing riders. If you've ever watched them ride and the energy that they ride with, it's unbelievable. Get a chance if you ever see them, and you know, but I want to say is when you take that ability, riding ability, and the desire and the passion in the sport, and you shape a board, something's going to come out of it. And this is it. This is a production model that Ken and Kyle have been working on for a long period of time. And if you wanted a custom board from Ken Adgate, you're on a long list. Everybody wants one of these boards. Well, they've teamed up, collaborated with Slingshot, and I was so excited to do that, to bring that design into a production so that you, the common rider, the rest of us could get one of these boards in our hands, and they have done a fantastic job. I gotta tell you, I'm kind of blown away, and it's awesome the way that they have designed this board and the aspects that they've put into it. Now, the board is going to come in 2 different versions. They've also worked with Michael and designed a Tuttle box mast. That's a completely different attaching system that they came up with. No one else has done it, where you put a Tuttle where the mast keys completely up into the board. The racers normally do this, and you can change the angle and its position in that mast box. So there's going to be 2 different versions, one with the plate mount just like this one here, which is pretty standard, which is the most common. So you don't have to get into having the custom mast for that brand, but I do see that there's going to be multiple brands bring that box, that Tuttle mast box, into the board lineup. So all in all, putting that connection in there, that is a custom setup. This is the standard. Now, what I want to talk about is how this board rides and who I think this is intended for. Getting this board, what I love to do is I get the information from the brands, I watch the guys ride, I think about how they ride, and I go, what is going to be the type of rider? I would classify this board as an intermediate advanced. Main difference is the rocker line and the chines and the shaping of this board. What pushes you into an intermediate and into advanced is that if you have moved into the pumping of the board to get up on foil and you have that technique down, you will optimize this board to the max. If you are just a power only in the wing to get scooting forward and you're not doing the pumping, there's other boards that have a little bit less rocker that make that easier, but learn the pump and all of the advance comes to you. That is a big thing. That is because of the rocker line in this board, the chines, the release in the tail that allows this board a very, very smooth pump in the board. And when you add that to it, when you're parawinging, winging, whatever it is, you want to get that pump effect down. This board is designed to optimize that pump. It is amazing. It is a really cool feeling when you want to turn, when you're parawinging to follow a swell. This board just pivots. It doesn't want to track. That will save you. It's amazing how you'll get riding, you'll start the pump, get on the swell, you turn with it. This one just wants to rock it forward because of that rocker and because of that design and the chines in there. So that is really what I want to talk about from intermediate to advanced, what you should do. Could you get on here and begin? Absolutely, but there are other advantages in boards having a little bit less rocker that make it just a little bit easier, but as soon as you move into learning how to pump that board, you are not going to have any kind of problems and take the full advantage of how this board will ride. Now, one thing that we really liked about this board also that I enjoyed was I couldn't wait for a concave deck. This is like my dream concave deck. You've got a 1/2 inch concave feel, so when you're riding on this, you feel like you're kind of in the board itself. You feel that direct contact in there, and I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you're sitting here with a 1/2 inch right in the center of the deck. Concave runs all the way to the rear with a little bit of kick bump here, and at the nose of it, a little bit of kick bump here. Now, they only put in inserts for front straps. This board is not designed and meant to be jumping. That is okay, but what it does is you only put the front inserts. You can put a strap or you can put a wedge. That's to give you a drive of the board forward. Some people like that, so they did add those inserts. And also, if you reduce inserts, you reduce weight. Now, the design behind it, when you look at the nose here, you're gonna see this isn't just a flat nose. This is a buildup. So what they've done, which is also amazing, is the amount of liters and the flotation in this board, they brought it back in a tiny package. Reduce it down to minimize the length as much as possible so it can still slice through the water, but bring that buoyancy back so you get stability from nose to tail. They've done that in here. This isn't just flat. This is built up in the nose. It's also slightly built up in the tail. This gives you a nice balanced flotation and brings that nose out of the water and keeps it from nosing down in. That is one thing I noticed. It was really nice. And it was a touchdown and bringing that nose. The nose wants to come automatically back out, not just nose you in, especially when you're riding swell and you're doing those touchdowns, which is a whole nother aspect of it. But you can see the chines and the angle of attack. The chines are hard to see. They're in on the sides here. Why this is such a huge importance is the design of this board is when you're riding advanced, you're riding with speed, you're riding swell, you're gonna come around and be very aggressive. If you've ever watched Ken ride, it's just unbelievable. The power and the energy that comes in, and you've gotta bring the board down when the foil's almost coming out of the water angle, but you want that board to skip off that water and come back out. Basically rescue yourself as you come down and do touchdowns. A lot of other boards put so much surface right in those zones that it hits, it grips in, and then you nose over. This one just wants to flow in, touch, and come out. And I think that's where the name Project Drag came from, was to reduce the drag all around. When you do the touchdowns in swell, nose to tail, or you're over on the rail and you're pushing it in, this board wants to release that. It's really cool to feel when that does happen to you. Now, the other thing that I like to talk about, what they've done, is a lot of different construction techniques inside that you won't even notice. But what that does is it brings down a production board into a very, very lightweight package. This board here is the 72 liter. I like the 72 liter because I want enough surface I want a parawing on it and I want a wing on it. I want a board that'll do all around everything how I like to personally ride. And the 72 came out to 9.9 pounds. For a production board, that is pretty amazing. You start weighing a lot of your boards and you're gonna see it is very light. This whole setup, this is my actual, the way I like to ride setup. And this is it, 9.9 pounds in the board. And they're gonna vary in there, but what they've done is different little setups. So your center fly area, this zone here, your fly foil area, is built up a lot more in this zone and making it lighter in your nose to tail where you don't want that weight. That reduces swing weight. Swing weight is a big thing you'll get to understanding when you get into that intermediate advanced and you're trying to really turn real hard on the small swell or the big swell and really whip that foil around. That is a huge thing, is reducing swing weight. Another way to reduce swing weight is you will see where I have my foil mounted in the tracks. I've got my foil way up to the front. This is where I like to ride. Different foils will have different lift aspects on it. So some of them, like in the Slingshot foils that I've ridden, they like to be probably mid-mounted because your lift is moved forward into the front wing a lot more. Watching Fred ride and how they do it, they've moved it back. But the tracks are long enough that now I can move mine up so I am centered on this board. Reducing swing weight to me is so important. So some people get on my board and they'll have a little bit more difficulty getting up, but what I find myself is I'll move back just a hair, get the pump, and as soon as I'm up, I will inch forward. I don't ride with straps. I don't want them. I want them completely on my way because I move around the board. As I get onto swell and get that nose to drop into the swell, I'll find myself moving forward a couple inches or moving back, changing my position at all times in riding the swell. And this board is so balanced in that when the swing weight, I just noticed as I'm coming around, it felt like I had none. I mean, it was just snap turning so fast and so smooth, and those touchdowns. But I got to tell you, this is going to be a board that will change your riding style. If you've been in the standard mid-length type designs, get your feet on one of these. You will feel it. When you start pushing this thing to the max, your turn aggressive, your touchdowns feel like you just barely touch the water. Such a great ride. And I'm just pretty blown away, and it's a really cool feeling because I haven't had that feeling in so long in just getting a different board design, because everybody comes in and goes, here's our new board. This is one I've been waiting on right here. Ken Adgate and his abilities and riding abilities, you can feel it in this board. Working with Slingshot, Fred Hope and those guys, Fred's pushing this thing to the limit. A lot of their riders pushing it to the limit, but very excited. These are supposed to be coming out toward the end of the season in the production, but we are very lucky to get our hands on one of these, get a video, get the testing out there. If you have any questions about sizing or anything else, don't hesitate. Let us know. This comes in many sizes from 50 liter all the way up to 114 liter. So you can find the right one that fits your weight and your style of riding for the slightly lighter winds or a little bit heavier if you're a more aggressive type rider. But all in all, blown away, really cool. One of those boards that you want to get your feet on and try out. It will move you forward and get you aggressively riding and hopefully advance you into it. It does come with a bag, which is really cool. All of that's starting to come out now. So you get your bag design and everything else. You can leave your foil on. But all in all, that's how I ride. A lot of people ask. I'm on an 85 centimeter mast high mod. I'm on an 8. This is my parawing setup, and I'm on an 820 downwind wing on the north. I love that with a 158 tail. Just the combo of wondering how I'm riding and what how my setup may be and what I choose to ride with. But that's the setup. I love it. I parawing with it. When I wing, I go down to a 750 front wing, but parawinging the 820 in our location is fantastic, and this board just brings that out. Love it. Anybody has any kind of questions on that or whatever, please don't hesitate. Leave it down in the video. I'll make sure to answer those questions the best I can. But if you're looking for some advanced type stuff and moving up in the sport, get your feet on one of these. Anyway, that's Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com and wingboarding.com to bring you the new board, the drag project. Ken Adgate, Kyle, Fred, Michael, all of this, they've done a fantastic job. You want to get your feet on one of these.